All right, welcome to another episode of Dark 30. Tonight's guest, I've known for a long time, 24 years, something like that, roundabouts.
Pretty close. Yeah. 24, 25. Yeah.
Sergeant Major Kevin and Drakowitz, Alphabet. Yeah, dude, we got some history together. We got we got
We
some.
do.
Welcome, brother.
Welcome. I appreciate it again, Levi. Thanks for having me on here. I know there's I don't know, all your following or how many folks are out there listening to it, or when they do listen to it.
There's
I know
two or
there's probably
three.
a lot of folks that were stationed at Drum with us at the time that are probably scratching their heads right now, like, fucking Sergeant Major. Are you kidding me right now? Yeah. Yeah.
What was a command sergeant major and now is just a sergeant major.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you
Unfortunately.
I mean, it's kind of a promotion because you're in charge of a lot more shit. You're not in charge of a battalion or some shit.
Yeah, yeah. The job I'm currently sitting in now is the Air Defense Artillery Proponent Sergeant Major. I didn't really, and nobody really knows until you kind of get put in the position, as far as what all is expected, of you to do or you to know, while you're in that position. But I showed up to this job besides the Sergeant's Major Academy. This is the second job that I showed up, and I have absolutely zero fucking clue of what it is that I'm doing here. But I'm gonna figure it out real quick. So
But last time we saw each other, like in person, and we hadn't seen each other in a long ass time, was right after the Sergeant Major's Academy, right? When you're up in
yeah, right after, post Sergeant Major's Academy, I was an Operations Sergeant Major in 4-3 Air Defense Battalion here at Fort Sill, and I was headed to Leavenworth for the Battalion Pre-Command Course. So I was there at Battalion PCC, and stopped out to see you, which was a fucking great time. Yeah.
That was great, dude. Ate some food, drank some beer. You got harassed by my kids, so yeah.
Yeah, the kids are awesome, dude.
Yeah, dude. So let's get into the little bit of history that we've got together, because I was hardcore E4 Mafia when I met you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we had just gotten back from Egypt,
Yeah, from Sinai, yes.
so it would have been 2002-ish time frame, maybe
2001-ish. Yeah, one.
Then did you go with us to Egypt?
I did not. I was there. I showed up, and you guys were already gone
Okay, that's
when
what
I
it
did
was.
my in
So you
processing
got
there
the
at
drum.
Drum.
You got the drum while we were deployed. We came back early 02 in like January 02. So that's when I met you, because you were an FNG at
Yeah,
287.
yeah, I was.
All
I
right,
was at
tell me
FNG. Yeah.
tell me about that experience. Old private and
So,
Dracula.
ah, obviously, everyone goes through basic training. They're like, okay, cool. You fucking did it. You feel like you accomplished something. And then you show up to your first unit. In processing there at Drum was a little different. I was, like, whatever, let's just get through this. I want to get to my unit because I thought I was going to do all great and wonderful things. Because, September 11th happened while I was in basic training. I remember the drill sergeants coming out, fucking coming up with cadences about Osama bin Laden and this, that, and the other thing, and how we're all going to fucking run over there and kill them and, do all kinds of crazy shit. Which was cool. It was motivational. Like you really found a purpose I think at that point, like when you joined and then something like that happened, you're like, oh fuck, this is
Right.
real, right? There's
Right.
there's no Desert Storm, Desert Shield bullshit that we're going into. This is something that's completely different. But yeah, left from there, show up to Drum, do the in processing, and more so trying to figure out where all the aviation chicks are hanging out at and everything else, right? So I was a young man. I was single at the time. And then they send me over there to fucking North Reaver Ridge Loop, right, where 287 is located at.
Infantry row.
And I get, set up in a room over there. And they kind of had bounced me around a little bit initially until all you guys had come back. But I remember fucking Sean Christensen living directly across from me. Old fucking Ranger Toman right upstairs, our squad leader at the time. And then Marcus Doty, right? The platoon sergeant, Sergeant First Class, Marcus Doty, right?
Sergeant Doty.
Yeah, and then Corporal Herbert, I think he lived in the same hall. Well, I was on the first floor
Right.
to the right hand side when you come inside the building. But that place, I remember it was kind of a lull. There was some, hey, get your shit ready, get your stuff all, trying to get the room all Gucci, this, that, and the other thing. And then you guys show up and you're like, yeah, fuck what you heard, right? And then the games begin, right? I
Oh,
remember,
the
I
games, the
remember,
Eastern Mafia games.
yeah, low crawling down the hallway, right? And fucking some variant of mop level gear and IOTV and
Sleeping bag.
ACH with a fucking broom, right? While everybody's like throwing fucking beer bottles and shit down the hallway. And I'm like, what is this, dude?
Welcome to
Yeah.
the Army, dude.
Yeah. One of those experiences where you're like, they didn't tell me, the Army was like this when I went through basic training. Which initially you're like any new kid showing up, and especially me more so for my fucking attitude. I was like, fuck these guys, fuck that dude, fuck him, right? Um, just one of those things that you're like, oh, they're just picking on me because they're fucking dickheads. And more so now, like after being in the Army for as long as I've been and understanding, there's a certain level of a rite of passage,
For sure.
right? When you're showing up to a new unit, and whether or not you're going to be the dude that's there for fucking 2 weeks or you're going to be the dude that's there for fucking 2 years. So
I
I
remember,
get it.
I can't remember what room it was. It wasn't the day room. There was another, like, almost like a little office room that we had. It was the first time I met you, right when we got in there, or right when we got back. And I walked in, and all you new guys stood up. I'm like, who the fuck are you guys? And you're like, uh, Private in Dragowitz or whatever rank you were at the time. And I was like, what in the hell is your name? Your name's literally A to Z. You are Alphabet. And I called you Alphabet for a long time after that.
Yeah, I got alphabet all the way through fucking basic training, right? I've had alphabet. As a matter of fact, it was alphabet all the way up until Ross Davidson, who was the fucking battalion XO at the time. When we went to JRTC, I got stuck being his fucking driver. And he was like, I'm not calling you fucking alphabet. I'm going to call you Andro. And
Yeah.
Andro has stuck with me from that date until now. Fuck, even my kid, my son just joined the army. He's an air defender over in Japan right now. Well, he's not in Japan. He's downrange, but they call him Andro,
Oh,
right? And
yeah.
it's just one of those things that's kind of been adopted. So yeah, alphabet. Yeah, I remember it vaguely. I tried to block out all those terrible fucking memories in my life, right, from back
Trauma.
then.
All the
Yeah,
trauma.
trauma. Yep,
So,
yep.
how long did you stay in that first stint?
So the first stint I was in for 2 years and some change. I had ended up getting out on a Chapter 6 hardship dependency discharge. My dad was going through a lot of shit at the time. Him and my mom had split. His health was failing. I left from Drum and went back to Toledo, Ohio, where my mom was located at. Ended up kicking around there for a while, trying to figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do in life, right? To kind of help the old man. And that was the stake, right? When I got out, was that give him a hand and kind of help him out. And I ended up meeting my wife now of 21 years, Kimmy, there in Toledo at the time. Yeah, which funny enough, she's the one that ended up doing what it is that I said I was going to do when I exited. She's the one that ended up taking care of my dad for the longest time, for shit of probably 8 more years after that, until he had finally, even actually even longer than that, until he finally actually passed away. Yeah, it was kind of a godsend. I don't know why everything clicked and did the way it did, but I'm happy now, 20 almost 22 years later, being married to her, that it did happen that way. So
Yeah, she's for sure the one that holds your family together. That's for damn sure.
100%. I'm fucking here or there or everywhere, and even when I'm here, I'm not mostly engaged all the time, just because I'm fucking burnt the fuck out from everything else that's going on. But yeah, no,
I,
she's a phenomenal woman. Um,
I
Again,
like
glad
following
I
her on socials and watching what your kids are doing now in high school sports and that kind of stuff. I love that. It's great. It's a good connection. Um, that it really. I mean, it. We've been friends for 20 some years, And I've been friends with your wife for what 15, something like that, on socials.
Yeah. Yeah. When you
And
guys, I
it's
remember
fun to
you
watch your
guys,
kids grow up, grow up together and develop into the young men that they're developing into right now. It's
yeah,
like
well,
incredible to watch.
it is. It's pretty cool in retrospect, looking back at it. I remember you guys had come to my apartment in
Mm-hmm.
Toledo. You guys, Nick Brown and a few other folks were traveling up for a funeral,
We
right?
were on our way to Wisconsin, to Rob's gravesite after we got back. Yeah.
Yep, yeah, I remember that. You guys coming through, and me and Kimmy were already together at that time. So yeah, you've known her for
Oh
shit
yeah, I guess
quite
it's
some
been
time.
longer than that. It's since '04, so yeah, it's 22
Yeah,
years now.
yeah, yep. But yeah, no, the
So
kids growing up on, and it's social media. Like I fucking hate social media, and I love it at the same time,
same
right?
way, dude.
I love for the fact that, like you just stated, you can kind of see, in what's going on and how, folks are progressing in life and kind of, a little glimpse into, some of their family life if they post that type of stuff or not. And then, for the most part, people just use it for fucking clout and fucking chasing likes and all the rest of that bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I hate social media. I like using it to connect with my brothers from all over the world, all over the country. Uh, I do hate it for death scrolling. But I
Yeah.
use it currently for the podcast, trying to try to get the podcast and stuff out there, get that shared and liked and subscribed and all that stuff. So it's definitely a good tool, but it's also irritating at the same time.
100 fucking %. The more I look at it nowadays, half tempted to just turn all the shit off and fucking walk away from it. Um, I see there's a lot of folks too that I follow online that are kind of some revered folks out of the military community that are all kind of after lately with all the podcasts. Not, I mean, nothing against you. Obviously, this the platform is a little bit different, but Sean Ryan and all the rest of that stuff.
Right.
That just to see a community or several communities just kind of fucking break down over time just because they're literally destroying each other over
Oh, for
fucking
sure.
social media to me is,
It's
I'm
funny.
like,
Like
man,
social media is what got me into this in the first place. I was watching. I think it was like Marcus Luttrell, and
okay,
him and his boys were sitting around a campfire just telling dumb stories. It's like, I can do that. I was like, we're not
right.
special, but we got some good stories. We don't have to be Ranger Battalion or SF or Navy SEALs or any of that stuff. We just got really good dumb stories because we're average Joe. We're the backbone of the military. And I
I
was like,
think
I can
I
do
think the
that.
stories I think the stories that we have are probably a little bit more entertaining and a little bit more uh,
Real.
at at fucking most
Right.
people's level.
Like,
Um,
yeah, most people can connect with the dumb shit that we did in the barracks parties, and you go do the wall to wall counseling and shit like that we used to do.
right, right, yeah, and that whole community, you're just like, that must be nice to have all of these things at your fucking disposal, and you're doing all the things, and
Oh,
all the cool and sexy shit. I get it. It's needed, right?
but it's
That
funny
obviously
though
that
because
community is 100% needed.
we did cool and sexy shit too. We just didn't have beards and blue jeans on and salmon shoes and shit like that. We
Yeah,
had some
fucking
cool
high
sexy
cut
shit.
helmies, high cut
Right.
helmets with fucking your Gen 3 NVGs and all the
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. I
in
get
your
it.
time, how many deployments you got?
So right now it's kind of, so for air defense, although we are the most deployed, and they say deployed via you're not stateside branch in the Army, have been for the past shit well over a decade. Um, it's mostly to the Senkai AOR. It wasn't up until recently, obviously, if you've seen the news with everything that's going on downrange right now, that now everything is a deployment and every place is a fucking combat zone related to it,
For
right?
sure.
As far as that's concerned. But several rotations into the Senkai AOR, and then this last one that I won on as a battalion CSM, I had my battalion was split between two COCOMs. I was in the Senkai AOR and UCOM AOR in support of the Ukraine mission.
That's where you were going right after we hung out that time. You were getting ready to go train some Ukrainians.
Yeah. So ended up being a little slightly different mission when we got there. Obviously, a lot of people were kind of pumped up at the time over the news media, but all the lethal aid that the U.S. was sending into Ukraine had to stop in other EU countries before it went there. It just so happened that where I was located at was the last stop for all of it before it went on a semi truck and disappeared across the border 45 minutes later into Ukraine to be, used at its disposal. So that was a super eye-opening operation that we did over there. We're co-located with a lot of USASOC elements that were there that were also obviously, special forces is built and designed to help train, foreign nations and foreign armies, right, to help defend themselves and do, other things. So we were co-located with them there in Poland, relatively close to the Ukrainian border. But yeah, all the lethal aid that was going into Ukraine at the time was only going through two locations. It was a rail head at that point and then an airfield at that point. And the airfield, because we're air defense, was the location that they stuck us on.
Right. Now, in all your deployments, do you have a favorite one, whether it's good or bad or indifferent?
That last one was probably the fucking coolest one, only because um,
Was it
I got
because of what
to.
you guys like the job that you went over there to do?
So the job that we're doing, and then the impact that I had, right? So although it's a deployment, I got to shape a few things as the battalion CSM, and really at the time for the LSA that we're sitting on, the most senior NCO that was there, along with we had 10th Mountain was in there first as a division cell, 82nd was in there, and then 101st, the Rakkasans were there in support of that mission as well. Being able to shape what was kind of going on in the AOR and how it is that we operated on a day-to-day basis. I changed some things up, right? We're in fucking Poland. We're not in a fucking wartime country, although potentially this shit can break off, right? I wanted to treat this and allow the folks that were over there to kind of get out and experience the culture there in Poland, which was fucking awesome, to be able to go out and do it. So through numerous conversations with the GO that was the LSA commander at the time, I was able to get a little bit more leeway, right, if you want to call it, as to going out.
A little more freedoms.
Freedoms, yeah, going out and experience the culture, which if you've never been to Poland, awesome place to go to. Extremely clean country, food is phenomenal, but the fucking beer there, right, in any European country, the beer there was just out of this world. So getting able, just being able to take an approach not only with my unit but with other units and say, hey, look, I know we got an important mission, but I also understand that we're fucking human beings and you need a break too, right? And being able to have a fine balance between that over there was fucking awesome. Plus the fact that I was it's not one mission set. Again, I had half my battalion that was in the CENTCOM AOR and the other half was there, right? So 50% of the time I'm concentrated on what we're doing here and are we doing things right? And then the other 50% of the time I'm flying right to the CENTCOM AOR to ensure that my soldiers that are out there, mostly in Bahrain at the time, right, we're doing some stuff. And my soldiers that were there in the CENTCOM AOR got couple opportunities to do some things that had never been done in the CENTCOM AOR for almost the better part of almost 2 decades, right? As far as where their locations were at, how we were employing weapon systems, how we were, kind of pushing the edge, so to speak, on the weapon systems and how we're operating over there. So it was a really, really cool opportunity, and I did all of that mostly without a battalion commander. Yeah, so
I mean, are they really needed anyways? I mean, come on.
no, so I've come to have a slightly better understanding of what exactly it is. You figure it out what it is they do when they're not fucking there, right? And then when it's you that's got to do it. Unfortunately, my battalion commander was relieved while I was in Poland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for some other things. I won't get into all that, but he was relieved. So I had to told the fine line of the CSM, right, and then the staff officers. I had two majors at the time, both phenomenal majors. That were kind of pushing the operations envelope in both locations for me. And it's just, how do you manage two majors, especially two, one more so than the other, an iron major that's really out there trying to get it, and then stop the internal pissing contest between the two of them and all the rest of that shit. So it was just a really interesting deployment. Really gave me an opportunity to kind of like not only as a CSM, but like kind of step out and be a leader in all facets for the organization. So to me, that's probably the most influential one, just because I had the most impact, right, on what it is that happened or what it is that didn't happen. And I've always been a firm believer in that. Like, if we can take a common sense approach to the majority of the shit that we're fucking doing, then that's the fucking approach we're going to take. And it seems to me to me, it's lost on a lot of Army senior leaders today.
And that's unfortunate because it is that common sense that's lost all across the board in military. It's like, why are we doing this? Like, because that's the way we've always done it. No, like, change it up a little bit because, it's worked in 1945, but it's not going to work in 2025. It's completely different operational set. It's completely different operational tempo. And I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you've been to the Sergeant Major Academy. Are they still teaching the old ways? Is that what's going on? And some of these guys coming out of there like, oh, fuck that. I mean, we need to change this up a little bit.
There is, obviously, they go through revolutions. There's constant change at the academy. When I went through the academy, we joked, me and a lot of the classmates, and not just from my branch or CMF, but from all of them. I went to the academy at the time that was kind of COVID was happening, and it wasn't your traditional academy experience. You weren't in class, in seat, right, sitting in there with everybody. A lot of it was done via Blackboard. I mean, fuck, there was competitions on who could grow the longest beard while they were in the academy. Just because you had to get on, teams occasionally or the Blackboard, right, to do some of the classes, but you had put your mask on, right, because of COVID or whatever. But it was a little bit different because obviously during the fucking COVID thing, but we always came back with a joke of, from the academy, like, I wasn't forced to drink the fucking Kool-Aid, right? We didn't have to go to these forced functions, these fucking dining outs, all the rest of the shit, obviously the gallantry fucking whatever shit they do at the academy. We didn't have to do any of that because of the COVID thing. And so when I left there, I was like, well, I'm not going to be the fucking uniform in the grass sergeant major, right? If I leave this academy and the only thing I got are you fucking uniform, which, don't get me wrong, right? There's some importance to that, right? And the grass being fucking cut. But I don't, like, I got to my first unit. I'm like, do we cut the grass here? Are we responsible for cutting the grass? And they're like, no. Then I'm like, then fucking walk on it, because the more you walk on it, right? Who gives a shit, right? I remember
So
when I got to
everybody out there listening, you can walk on Sergeant Major Andrakwitz's grass, just so everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Walk on his grass.
Yeah, absolutely. There's the old school mentality of, hey, well, if you walk on the sidewalk, it's a discipline thing. And yeah, I get that. But the shortest point between fucking point A and point B isn't always on the fucking sidewalk. And if I need you to get somewhere and I need you to do something, right, then fucking move your ass across the grass. Just fucking get to where you're supposed to fucking go. You know what I mean?
I love that. Because I still say that to this day. I'm like, get off Sergeant Major's grass.
Again, that's a lot of them. You had, fuck, well, he's retired now. I don't give a fuck. Sergeant Major of the Army Chandler, right? Big one on fucking uniforms and kind of all the rest of those standards, which again, at the time, because we weren't in huge conflict, we're coming out of the tail end of fucking Afghanistan. There's not a really whole lot going on. There's the normal rotations in the second war. Didn't really have anything to kind of focus on. And that was the focus. And to me, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah,
like if you just left
facial hair and haircuts and all the, which is great because like being in the National Guard, holy shit. Dude showing up with like man buns and shit. And I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, I'm within standards. I'm like, no, you're not even close to being anywhere near standards. So no, hell no. When we stopped shining boots, standards went out the door.
100%
Right. When we stopped shining boots and ironing and and what's the word I'm looking
Starching
for?
and fucking pressing a
Starching our
fucking uniform.
uniforms. Yeah,
Yeah,
standards went completely out of the window. You don't
I
even
think so.
iron new uniforms. You don't shine boots anymore. There's no discipline in that, and I think standards completely deteriorated after we stopped shining boots.
They did. I think so obviously it was a catalyst, right? If you don't have something that keeps you constantly focused on a day to day, i.e. the uniform, the boots piece, um, then you lose focus of all the rest of the things that go along with it. That's why I said I think there's still some goodness, obviously in the grass and the uniforms piece. Um, but nowadays you're like, okay, well, what's the fucking standard? That's the other thing that the Army today, that some of it kind of pisses me off is you get a faster update via fucking Twitter and social media websites than I do to Army regulatory guidance. Right? And the soldiers are like, I saw my shit changed. I can get frosted tips and fucking, whatever the case may be. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I got to go, dig it up on social media. And I think they're starting to get better about, hey, we're not putting the cart before the horse, so to speak. But still a long ways to fucking go in that aspect. But yeah, once we stopped shining boots and stopped pressing uniforms, we lost track of all of although you call them minute, right? In the minutia, what's happening. Those things were important because it drove somebody's fucking, how they operated, how they acted. That carried over into all the other things that they fucking did.
Right.
That was one of the things I think was most important. Me as a young soldier about fucking you guys and Toman and fucking Doty, right? Why do I have to have a fucking square knot with 2 half hitches, right, on every fucking piece that goes on my fucking LCE? Why? What's the fucking point of this, right? And just starting that standard, everything is fucking meticulous. When we go to the fucking field, I got all my shit, right? I don't look like a fucking band of gypsies coming across the fucking field site where half my shit's, laid out all over the place. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
So yeah,
who was it? Admiral McCraven, the dude that was in charge of like the Bin Laden mission and the Captain Phillips mission, all that stuff. He's got a great book, and it's called "Make Your Bed."
yeah,
And he
make your
did it.
bed every morning.
He
Yeah,
did it at a speech at one of the academies, like a commencement speech.
the
He ended
Naval
up
Academy. Yep.
writing a book about it, and he's like, you get up in the morning, and you make your bed. He's like, that's your first victory of the day, and it can only go up from there. I mean, you're already accomplishing one thing, and it's a small thing, and that's kind of how I always pictured, the being in the right place, right uniform at the right time. When we shined our boots, it was like, dude, your boots look like shit. Go shine your boots. Did you even get up and shine them this morning? No. Maybe get up like 10 minutes earlier and shine your boots. You get that accomplished and you can finish the rest of your day without getting shit on, So,
Sure.
yeah, it's,
No, I
it's the
get
little
that.
things that add up.
No, the mentality of the soldiers nowadays is, well, if I get up and I make my bed, then why don't I just fucking tie my shoes after I take them off too?
Right.
Right. And I'm like, I kind of look at them and I'm like, although in your perspective, it makes a point, right? But the point is, okay, shoes, got it. That's one thing. Neatly stored, don't have to be fucking tied, right? But your bed, you got out of it, fucking make it so that the rest of your fucking room appears to be clean. Even
Somewhat
though we
clean.
know it's fucking not, right? It appears to be, right? That's all they were looking for at the time. But well, if I'm gonna fucking make my bed in the morning, I might as well tie my shoes after I take them off. And those are the ones where I'm like, yeah, absolutely. The fucking standard for you
Absolutely.
is that your fucking shoes are fucking tied when you take them off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll come check at 1600.
yeah. That's one of those things that obviously today's generation of soldiers, um, oof, it's weird. There's some really good ones, and there's the ones that you can pick out immediately that have, I don't want to call it an old school mentality, but have a viewpoint on things, much like we did 20 some years ago, that are just there to fucking do it and they want to do the best, they can at it. And then there's some that are there to, well, I'm fucking smarter than you, or, I can Google this shit faster than you can, or whatever the case may be. And so nowadays, being a leader, senior leader in the Army, the most challenging aspect you have is not losing your fucking shit, right, on some fucking people, which if you've
Right.
seen social media, here recently. You got some sergeant majors that are like, well, that's why you're a fucking piece of, they're going off on them. Which I'm like, hey, understanding being in the position before, I probably got some, not all the context, but some of it, right? I kind of get a gist of what's going on in there. And I'm like, well, they were fucking shitty soldiers, right? The dude's just giving the business to shitty soldiers. And then everyone else online is like, he's fucking, he's, singling them out, this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, that's the way it goes.
That's the other great thing that we like years ago when I was in, there was no social media. There was no Karens out there. Oh, well, you got to be nice to him. You got to do this, and no, we don't. We are making soldiers, or at least we were back then, better than what they were in civilian life. And in order to do that, I'm going to break them first, and that's just how it was.
I mean, yeah, thank God. Well, thank God there wasn't any fucking cameras, because if there was, me and you and numerous other people would have been in trouble for some shit. Long fucking time ago.
I'm so glad there weren't video proof of anything that happened back
I try to tell my kids today, I'm like, the first thing you guys do is pull out your phones and it's fucking World Star this or fucking TikTok that, right? And I was like, we didn't have that. So when it came down to the end of the day, it's just a bunch of people's fucking stories on what it is that fucking happened. Yeah.
I know. I love it. So in all your deployments, do you or did you ever have like a pre-deployment ritual, anything you did prior to leaving that you kind of catch yourself doing every time you leave?
Wow, that's yeah, but it's kind of, it's inadvertently, it's almost second nature.
Second nature. Yeah.
And you don't really think about it. It just happens. And it's actually, this one's, it's pretty shitty. It's distancing myself, right, from the family and from the kids and from everybody else, just so for my own personal edification and possibly for theirs. When I leave, it's not a, oh no, he's gone. They're like, yeah, okay, fuck it, whatever, he's gone type deal. You know what I mean?
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, the whole, if everybody's, builds up to the point they fucking leave, that's where everything's at. It's at that fucking point. Okay, he's gone. That might be the last time when I don't know. I tried to do that well before the getting on the fucking bus and the, the whole bon voyage at the fucking ADAG or whatever. So
do you have
like I said, it wasn't,
go ahead.
No, it wasn't a great thing. I think a lot of people more so today probably do that inadvertently without knowing that they're doing that. Than they realize, Yeah,
I mean, that's something I've never even thought about that before, but it makes total sense. I mean, honestly, you prepare them for the fact that you're going to be gone for set amount of time, that if you start easing them into it prior to going, it's a little bit easier on everybody.
Yeah, it's not a huge overnight adjustment. I'm there, I'm gone, right? Which, I mean, it is from certain aspects, but
right,
for the most part, I think
that total shock. Yeah.
No, and I think more so for me on mine, it was probably more so emotionally, right? I'm just withdrawn and kind of not there. And hey, and it was for my own selfish reasons. I'm focusing on what's coming up fucking next, and what I got to fucking do, and I'm pouring all my effort into that. Which in hindsight isn't fucking great, because I obviously, if something would have fucking happened right throughout my fucking deployments, then that's the last interaction my kids or
right.
My spouse has with me. But I think a lot of folks do it more so than they think about doing it today.
Right. Now, in your current situation, this could be, and this next question is current situation, current unit, current position. Do you have or have ever had any like stupid traditions or superstitions with your units?
Not so much. It's kind of weird. So there's a distinct difference between certain branches in the Army. Obviously, leaving from the infantry branch, coming to the air defense branch, which there's portions of the air defense branch are short range air defender folks that are at the time Bradley linebackers, right, and some of the Avengers, right, were stationed with infantry or division-like units. They carried some of those traditions. At the time, we had a lot of folks that were in the 82nd right? So they carried all the center of the universe, so to speak, fucking traditions right across the Army. It's a lot different now. I don't think we ever really got tied to, a certain tradition or this one thing that we fucking did. Everyone is so, especially in RCMF, everyone's so used to the fucking grind because it's a go down range, it's a comeback. There's a short period of time where you don't have equipment, you get your equipment back, it's a fucking train up, and it's out the fucking door again, right? Like when I say it, like I'm telling you, like no shit. And obviously some of these folks that listen to your podcast are like, you got to be fucking kidding me, dude. Air Defense Branch, more so than USASOC, more so than everybody else in the United States Army has been for the better part of a fucking decade, because all the shit that's happening in the Middle East right now has been a fucking problem for quite some time. And this was a stopgap that was placed over there at the time to ensure that those things didn't happen fucking earlier. You know what I mean? So it's just everyone is so set on, you got to get ready to go do the next fucking thing. And you're so deeply involved in that you don't really get into there's no train up. There's a little lull. We take some fucking leave, right? And then, while you're on leave, like shit, most of the air defense units, you take leave, you don't fucking see them. You don't see them, you don't talk to them. Everyone comes back the fucking, the day after block leave ended, and they show up and they're like, all right, let's get to it. You know what I mean? So there's a little different as far as, and I think that's something that's lost maybe in our branch, is that there isn't that there, and it doesn't bring teams together a little bit fucking closer, which is obviously important when we get on range. But the way our branch operates is so compartmentalized anyways, that I think it kind of, it helps to detract away from that anyways.
Okay. All right.
It's weird. It's kind of hard. Again, I know most of the folks you probably talk to, infantry this, or, obviously the law enforcement guys that are SWAT, which are fucking super close knit, super tight, and they're there with everybody all day long. But I got Joes that Joe might be here one day, even while we're on fucking deployment, right? He leaves midway through the deployment and somebody else fucking shows up, and he's expected to get in the seat and do the same job. Like it's a plug and play.
That's what I think, like 10th Mountain Division, just in our battalion, we would have I don't even remember what the hell they called them, our field problems that we did, like 2 week field problems.
Mm-hmm.
But we did so much training, and we did so much, small unit tactics and stuff that, man, we would go on one of these 2 week field problems, and you got to the point where you knew who the person was at night with no night vision on, just based on the way they walk.
Yeah.
Based on the way they stood or got up or whatever. And you would work with those dudes so much that you'd sit down next to somebody in the middle of the night in the dark, wouldn't know who it was, but you could tell who it was based on how they were breathing.
Yeah, 100%.
It's incredible, like just the amount of training we all did together, and the close knit community of our unit and the entire battalion. You would know that then not just a platoon size. I'm talking like company size. You knew everybody in the company, just how they walked in the middle of the night through the woods.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Leaving from the infantry and the mentality and how things operated and how close knit everything was, and then showing up to an air defense community at the time, I'm like, I'm showing up. So my first duty station, when I come back in, I'm in, matter of fact, I'm sitting on the plane. We're flying into El Paso, Texas, April 19th, 2006. It was my birthday. And the dude sitting next to me, a cat from New York, right? I was like, man, what a shitty way to spend my birthday. And he's like, oh, it's my fucking birthday too. And I'm like, no shit. He was like, yeah, I'm coming here to do air defense. And I was like, what were you beforehand? He was like, oh, I was in the infantry. And I was like, no shit. You know what I mean? A guy by the name of David Callaghan. We sit there and hit it off. But me and him, as we show up there and we're going through, the in process and get your shit squared away or whatever, we're standing around looking at stuff and we're like, fucking standards and discipline, non-existent. Right? You got two specialists like the E4 Mafia running out there like, fucking fix your fucking patrol cap, fucking first sergeant, shit like that. Digging into soldiers. But it goes back to, again, air defense, the way the certain systems are, again, for short range air defense, they're a little bit more close knit with the maneuvers community, right? They're on the ground with folks. This is for short range shit. This is, you know, the drones, all the rest of the stuff they're dealing with now. So they get inculcated into that community pretty quick. But for a long range or high mat air defender, which is most of the formations I've been in charge of, it's compartmentalized. You got guys that just do launchers, which are forward of all the shit. You got guys that just do the radar, the engagement control station, and the communication stuff. And then you got obviously your low density MOSs that are support MOSs for all of that shit happening. So it's very compartmentalized. You can see the internal clicks with them. Like, hey, if you're not, you know, a 14 Echo and, you know, versus a 14 Tango, you guys aren't shit, you know, this, that, and the other thing. Longest time the air defense, you know, the 14 Tangos, which is what my son is right now, we're like, that's a fucking shock block, right? You can put that behind a fucking tire. It'll sit there all day long. It won't complain. It just does its job. You know what I mean?
See, the unit I just left from the Kansas Army National Guard was a CAB unit, so it was a Combined Arms Battalion.
Okay.
So, and it's similar to what you've got now. I mean, we've got our M1s and we've got our Bradleys and we've got our infantry and we've got all the support and all that other stuff. So we've got, you know, units all over Kansas and their armories, and we all converge on Fort Riley every month for drill.
Oh, fucking Fort Riley.
And so, yeah, we get out there and there's like, all you armor dudes go PMCS your tank. All you Bradley dudes go PMCS your Bradley. All you infantry guys, go do 1 Alpha training. All you snipers, we don't know what we're gonna do with you, so go figure it out. So
You're like, what the fuck?
They don't know, like they know how to use the unit in time of conflict, but they don't know how to use the unit in time of training, because we should be coordinating with the Bradleys and coordinating with the Abrams and coordinating with everybody else. I had to do last summer, I was in charge of the sniper section for our annual training. Everybody was gone. They just got back from deployment, so they didn't have to go. So me as an E4, I am in an E7 slot for our annual training. So I had to coordinate a movement with my sniper team and everybody else in our battalion. And we rolled in these vehicles. We had JLTVs at the time. Rolled into these vehicles with the scouts, completely separate entity from the snipers. And we get there, and they're like, okay, the scouts are going to pull security. The snipers are going to hang back until the village is taken, and then you guys are going to move up and take a counter sniper position. It's like, okay, that's cool. Bradleys roll in, the back drops down, dudes jump out, jump out boys. They go do their thing.
Crunchies, yeah.
And then
yep.
Nobody says anything else on the radio. And I'm sitting in my truck. I'm like,
what's going on?
I mean, they're only taking 2 buildings. It's been like 35 minutes. What's going on? Like, all right, hey boys, let's roll up this dirt road around to the backside. And we found our building, climbed to the top, and we cleared our building. They didn't say anything about that. They said it was going to be cleared when we got there. It's like, how do you know? Cleared our building, get to the top, set up a counter sniper position. And then they're like an hour and a half later, they're calling on the radio. They're like, hey, snipers, you guys can go ahead and move up. Where are you? Yo, we've been in position for over an hour. We're here. We're done. All right.
Yeah.
What else do you want from us? And so we got back for the AAR, and I had to go as leadership. And they're like, well, what could we have done differently? I'm like, why are the snipers going in with the scouts? They're like, what do you mean? I go, the snipers should be there. They should have been there for days.
Yeah.
That's what we do. I was like, where do you think your weather lieutenant gets his information? Where do you think the sergeant major gets his information on the enemy element of what they've got and how many there are?
Yeah.
They're like,
where's our intel?
Like, that's literally our job. They're like, no, that's what the scouts do. Not the scouts in this battalion. The scouts in this battalion drive Bradleys. That's not what they do at all. I was like, that's what you use your sniper element for, is to get eyes on, to relay all your information back, to let you know what the hell you're running into. Because we didn't meet up with anybody. We just went. And that makes no sense at all. They're like, oh, well, we'll take that into advisement for next time. We're like, yeah, you should have had this under advisement the entire time. Like, why would you not get where the fuck are you getting your information from anyways? I'm curious.
Oh, for the better part of a decade for counterinsurgency. Like, where's the fucking lessons learned, guys? Yeah, come on.
So yeah, it's just funny seeing stuff how it works now, and the funny
Nobody,
shit.
I think the Army, in my perspective, we're really good at exercising small pieces, and there are certain pieces, right, of the fucking chessboard, so to speak, that we exercise regularly, and those things are fucking razor sharp. And then there's a whole bunch of it that when you have to put it all together, we cause ourselves a lot more fucking chaos, right,
Oh yeah,
than what's needed,
for sure.
because we don't do it all the time. We're trying to get better about it. It's hard. It's hard with an air defense, with certain air defense artillery assets, especially when it comes to like Patriot and THAAD, because it's more so it's a geopolitical asset, right? If you want to shape how things are happening in a global region, you move air defense pieces around. You shift where air defense is at, right? Obviously, nobody launches an offense unless there's a really good defense in place. Air defense being in nature a defensive fire system, right? Everyone looks at that and they're like, well, why are you moving this around? So again, geopolitical asset, hard to exercise with all the rest of what's going on. Again, it's kind of weird when I was looking at it when I'm first kind of understanding their defense role. A-pods, S-pods, all the rest of those things, right? Those aren't fucking established, and those don't fucking happen unless an air defense artillery asset is fucking covering. Obviously, you got your folks out of USASOC, folks out of the 82nd, obviously the 75th, right, to jump in to secure some small areas, right, some strategic areas. But for the majority of the forces that are coming behind it, if there isn't air defense artillery that's fucking covering it, right, along with other air assets, right, they're operational, the fucking nothing's happening. Nobody's getting there. You know what I mean? So again, a big geopolitical asset. So it's hard for us to get kind of moved in the fight. Obviously, for the infantry, a lot of the maneuvers forces and everybody else, they have fucking JRTC, NTC, right, and then CTCs that are overseas right now, or MTC that's overseas right now. Air Defense does its own version of this. It's called Roving Sands. It's down at Fort Bliss, Texas. I've done it twice since I've been in the Army, and both times that I've been there, I'm like, what the fuck is this, and what the fuck was supposed to happen? The first time I did it, I was a first sergeant, and I was actually the HHB first sergeant at the time, and they wanted to practice, or they wanted to test some doctrine on co-locating an HHB and an Echo, our maintenance company element. And as soon as they told me that, I'm like, from a defensive perspective, this is a fucking nightmare, right? There's way too many people, way too much equipment. I don't have enough, I don't have enough shit, right, to defend this element, this fucking gypsy train you want me to drag out here into shit. And I remember they kind of, move us into, you leave out of your home station via air or train. You get there, you deload all your shit, you get everything prepped, and just like a JRTC or NTC, you get out and you get into the box. Well, we're driving down the road. My fucking battalion commander at the time's like, hey, First Armor, I was like, I'm going to take the lead Humvee, right? I'll be on the fucking radio. I'll be the gunner. I'll be the fucking TC. I only got fucking me and my fucking driver, right? I'm short some folks. We're shorthanded. And we're going down the road. They radio up, hey, fucking some idiot didn't fucking troop strap some shit down right in the fucking truck. The shit fell off, so we got to stop. And you're going down, desert roads. There's dust and shit blowing everywhere. You can't see shit anyways. So we stop, and mind you, I'm in an up armored Humvee, right? I'm sitting there, and I'm in the fucking turret with a fucking radio stuffed in my ACH, right? And mounting, manning the gun. And we're there for about 5 minutes. So I slumped down in the fucking turret, right? And I'm rotating around, looking through the fucking crack in the fucking turret, just kind of scanning around what's going on. OC vehicle comes past us, goes down the road a little way, stops, gets out. This guy comes up, and he's taking photos of us, right? And he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, well, we stopped because of this, right? I'm fucking scanning the AO right now. And he said, why didn't your soldiers get out and pull security? And I'm sitting there in this turret and I'm like, I asked my driver, I was like, what the fuck did he just say? And he's like, they want to know why we didn't get out and pull security first, aren't? And I stand up in this turret and I'm looking at the guy and I was like, it's a fucking up armored Humvee, you moron. Why the fuck would I tell the people to get out of the vehicle that's designed to protect them, right? While we're sitting here on the fucking road. I was like, that's why I'm not standing up in this turret right now. I'm a fucking sniper's wet dream. Like, we've been sitting here for like a half hour, dude, right? If anything, I would have fucking left a long time ago, right? Because this is a no-go already. And he's like, oh, I didn't know at the time. I didn't pay attention. There's a lieutenant colonel, right? There's an OC. He's fucking OC in the entire battalion that's going. So we get out there. We get to this fucking shit. They go to the first AAR, and the double MDC commander at the time was a one-star general. I won't mention his name on here. He comes out, him and his sergeant major. Sergeant major was a fucking stand-up dude from the 82nd, fucking short-range air defender, so he kind of knew the gist already. As we're sitting there, they bring my photo up, right? The lead vehicle. And me standing there, and I'm fucking pointing at this dude when he took the picture or whatever. The the double MDC commander is like, here we go. Here's prime example number one of why we're not, we don't understand doctrine, this, that, and the other thing. And he said, who's in this lead vehicle? Immediately, I'm standing in the tent, right? My hand goes up, and the sergeant major at the time fucking looks back, sees who it is, leans over, whispers something to the double MDC commander, right? And they're like, oh, fucking, the picture drops off the screen. They move on to the fucking next one. And I'm like, God damn it, dude. Like, I wanted to have this conversation.
I wanted my time.
Right? Well, I just like, they don't understand. Even at that time, even the doctrine I was operating off from leaving from the infantry was still was old, right? Was fucking out of date. Yes. But it was still more to date than what it is that they were fucking using at the time, right? And I'm like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? But trying to exercise all of that along with the fucking ground force is so hard to do. Like air defense for the longest, we get the nomenclature, we're REMPs, right? The rear echelon motherfuckers. Well, it's not my fault that our weapon system goes fucking the entire distance of the fucking battlefield and then some, right, to do this. You guys are being engaged. This is the defensive weapon system. If I can place the defense all the way in the back and it still covers everything, no harm, no foul, right? You're keeping people out of harm's way type deal. But yeah, it's just, for the longest, I've been fighting the mentality of old school thought, old school doctrine. Nobody wants to stay up to date with how shit is being done, which is a hard thing to do. But to get us to get into an exercise, if you put an air defense unit like ours, like a HIMAT air defense unit in JRTC or NTC right now, they're going to be like, cool, we drove out just outside the box. We established, we covered the entire box. What are your questions? You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, this red air fucking aircraft came in. Yeah, it was fucking done 2 minutes after it entered the fucking, this, that, and the other thing. But it's hard to do. So hopefully in the near future, they get it figured out. They do more so this like kind of like tabletop wargaming stuff with like computer simulations. They'll inject it because I think sheer distance and kind of what it is that it does and how it's employed. Although we're there for obviously our own assets that are moving about the battlefield, there's other assets that are covered. Obviously, again, your APODs, your SPODs, things like that have to be covered. If you can't get aircraft off the ground and gain air superiority, infantry doesn't move too much on the fucking ground because you guys are getting schwacked by shit left and right. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. So.
Right. All right. So in the spirit of the show, what's a good nothing happens after midnight story?
Oh God.
Which one?
Yeah. There's so fucking many of nothing good happens after midnight. And I'm going to try and keep most of mine personal what happens after midnight stories out of it as possible. Oh God. Good God. I'm just trying to think back from a first sergeant, right, all the way up until now. The number of phone calls that I've received after midnight, I think more so. The problem is here lately. So initially, when I was a line battery first sergeant, obviously you get some phone calls and you're like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You got to be kidding me, right? And now when you get phone calls, it's so and so's been arrested for a fucking DUI. There's been a fucking death in the fucking unit. There's a suicide. There's this, that, the other thing, right? There's no more. You don't you don't hear about it. I'm trying to think. I think probably the nothing good happens after midnight. It's kind of weird. So I was stationed over in Korea at the time. I was in Charlie 652 on Osan Air Base, South Korea, and we get an opportunity, while we're there. Obviously, you can go out. That at the time when I was there was still a curfew that was set for fucking South Korea, right? And everybody had to be back in. And I was like, I get that, right? I'm kind of new to the country, so I didn't really get out and travel a whole lot. But I'm sitting in my room one night and I get a phone call, right, from my battery XO, right? His name is, well, I'll call him Gorbachev on here. He's a Lieutenant Gorbachev, okay? Lieutenant Gorbachev gives me a call and he said, hey, First Sergeant, I got two soldiers. I'm out doing courtesy patrol, which is something that I implemented while I was over there. Wasn't nothing big like the SF and everybody, just two folks from the unit, mostly an NCO, maybe a junior enlisted, because the junior enlisted knew where everybody was fucking going and could take the NCO out with them. If they go in the club, they see my soldiers acting like fucking idiots. I police them up before the fucking security forces do, or before the fucking Koreans do, right? And make sure they stay out of trouble. You get this phone call and he was like, hey, these two kids, I know they're underage, right? I know they've been fucking drinking. If they come back through the fucking gate, they're gonna get busted, right, for underage drinking. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, fuck, I was like, give me a minute, I'll call you back. I was sitting there and I was like, fuck, man, what can we do here? So I call him back and I was like, hey, LT, do me a favor. Put them in your fucking car. Tell both of them to get in your fucking car, right? You drive back through the fucking gate. You're sober. They're not really going to give a fuck, who's in the back. They're with a fucking officer anyways. So you get them through the gate. You bring them straight to my fucking room. I'm standing out in the fucking parking lot. Old fucking Gorbachev fucking pulls up. He's like, all right, First Sergeant, here's the two kids, right? And both of them are fucking plowed, right? And I'm like, hey, boys, did you guys have a, good evening tonight? And they were like, well, roger that, First Sergeant. I was like, where were you guys at? Well, we don't really want to say. And I was like, yeah, because there's probably other fucking people out here with you. I said, don't worry about that. I'm going to give you guys an option here, okay? I put it on paper, right? And the battery commander gets a hold of it, and he's going to go UCMJ. You guys are getting Article 15s, and right, it's going to be terrible for your pocketbook and everything else. Or we do it my way. And I was like, but that's it. That's all you get for an explanation. I'm fucking my way, right? So you got 5 minutes. You guys can confer between each other, paper or First Sergeant's way. They both turn around. They're like, fucking First Sergeant's way. And I was like, yes, yes. I have been waiting for this for so long. Everything that you and Corporal Herbert and Nathan James fucking Keys, right, and everybody else did to me in those fucking barracks, right, in Fort Drum, New York, on North River Ridge Loop. I was like, this shit is about to happen right now.
This is about to go down.
So I jump in the car with the XL. He said, where are we going? I said, we're going to the barracks. Show up to the barracks. Hey, boys, upstairs, full battle rallo, fill your fucking 2-quart canteen, right? They fill the shit up. They come downstairs. He said, where are we going? I said, we're going out to at the time, the launchers are on the other side of Osan Air Base, right? And it's kind of away from everybody. So we go out to the launchers. Mind you, this is probably 1:30 in the morning, right, at this time? Fucking 7:15, 7:20, right? The sun's coming up. And I'm like, ooh, shit, we've been out here for a little bit, right? And these kids are fucking vomiting, and they are covered in shit, right? And just dusted the fuck off. And I said, hey, are you guys good now? You think you guys got this figured out that we're not going to go out and do this shit again? And they're like, oh yeah, Roger that, First Sergeant. I said, okay, well, we're not done, right? Because now we're going to head back to the barracks, but we ain't getting a fucking ride, right? We're going to run. So we ran back to the fucking barracks. And I said, don't take your shit off. Don't clean your fucking self up. You will parade yourself through the fucking barracks, back up to your room. And if anybody asks you, why the fuck do you look like that? What the fuck happened? You tell them that you went out and you made a mistake last night and you let First Sergeant Andrew Ackowitz fucking handle it, right? And this is what you look like, and that's it. Bro, I got, at the time, the USF fucking K commander and Sergeant Major Rick Merritt, right? The 8th Army fucking CSM at the time, was a fucking stand-up fucking dude. Come down to Osan, they're there fucking visiting. I'm getting ready to PCS from fucking Korea. And at the time, my battery, only battery in the peninsula of South Korea, 0 fucking indiscipline, right? 0 curfew fucking related incidents. None. I got a coin from the USF fucking K commander at the time that was like, I don't know what you did, and I don't know how bad you fucking lied, but you need to get everybody else on board with what it is that you just fucking did. And Sergeant Major Merritt comes over, and he's talking to me, and he was like, what's the secret? And I was like, I gave him an option, Sergeant Major. And he's like, you gave him an option. I said, we can put it on paper, or we can do it fucking my way. And he was like, my man, right? And I was like, I've been waiting. These fucking my way lessons have been stored in my head for the better part of 20 fucking years, right? To get to this fucking point. And so that was one of those things like, you know, it happened, but it didn't happen. It didn't go down on fucking paper, but we got it fucking squared away either way.
Well, you're welcome for all those.
Yeah, thanks.
They gave you.
Yeah,
all those
thanks. You guys are assholes, man.
We fixed Korea.
Yeah, there you go. If I can't remember what Herbert's fucking first name
that's
was.
all it is. A little E4 mentality, little E4 mafia will fix everything.
Yeah, well, and that's maybe, you know, it's something I should have done at the time as a first sergeant, was kind of, I was trying to break the E4 mafia mentality, and in hindsight, it's important.
No,
it's self-policing. Yeah.
Yes.
Self-policing, right?
We used to get called to other battalions. Like ours in 287 was so strong at the time that like 431 and 214, they'd all call us and be like, hey, we got some jacked up Joes. Can you guys come deal with it? And we're like, absolutely. Absolutely. Free line, go.
I still want to figure out why, and you guys did this every time, and it pissed me off so bad. The day before I'm getting ready to take a fucking PT test, that morning, you guys come in and smoke the shit out of me hours before my fucking PT test. And I'm sitting there, right? I remember the first one, and I get to fucking 39 push-ups, and I'm shaking because I'd been fucking, you know, out in the woodline or in the hallway 2.5 hours before this. And Doty looks at me and he was like, "What the fuck's wrong with you, Huba?" Right? And I'm like, I'm shaking trying to push up. And I was like, I'm not going to fail this fucking thing. I'm not, but I didn't do that great. Right? Every fucking time you guys did that. And I'm like, I'm never going to get ahead here. You fucking assholes.
Did we ever make you scrape wax off the floor with your dog tags?
Nope. I never had to do that.
Ooh, yeah. We had some dudes like on their hands and knees scraping wax off the floors with their dog tags in the hallway.
You guys are fucking assholes, dude.
Dude, we were vicious. We were vicious. I try to tell the dudes like in my old National Guard unit, like this shit we used to do. They're like, no. I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. It all happened. It all
100% yeah. God. There was a lot of shit that happened in that fucking building. Yeah.
Dude.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we were ruthless back then, man.
Yeah, you guys were assholes. Just period. Point blank period. Even though it was great and for a lot of good things, I still don't care. You guys were fucking assholes. If I had the opportunity and a fucking bat, I would beat the brakes off from all of you in there. I guarantee it.
But look at you now. You got a coin. You got a
coin from the USFK commander. I made it to fucking command sergeant major in the United States Army. Yeah.
You're welcome. You wouldn't be the Andrew you are today without us.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Not at all. Not at all. I think it's extremely important. First unit of assignment, how it shapes how a soldier's career is going to be.
Yeah, if we could bring
100%.
all that back and build that E4 mafia mentality back up, I think things would change a lot in the military. It
I
absolutely would.
think so.
It's
It's got to
still
be,
there, but it's not. I mean, the dudes that were E4s back then, when it was just like a part of, like a way of life, they're
yeah.
all, retired or getting ready to retire or have been out for several years, that kind of thing. So there's not a new generation of that barracks party E4 mafia anymore. It sucks.
Nope.
It
Nope.
sucks.
I think if you did one now today it'd have to be governed, right? There'd
Well,
have
I
to be,
the reason my Army National Guard didn't really want to get rid of me because I was bringing it back, and I was fixing a lot of the soldiers, and they're like, "We don't want you to go." I'm like, "Well, too bad. I'm you. This sucks. I'm
yeah,
going somewhere where the grass is greener. And I'm gonna walk all over Sergeant Major's grass now because I can. He told me tonight, and
100%.
like I was having dudes dry shave in the middle of the armory gym. Like, dude, why didn't you shave this morning? We're like, oh, I was tired. Okay, well, I've got a single disposable razor, and you're going to use it right here dry, and we're all going to watch you, and then we're going to
Yeah.
cheer for you when you're done.
Yeah.
I smoked a dude and he still talks about it this day. He wanted to get into the sniper section. He's like, how do I do it? And I was like, well, you got to quit fucking up, dude. And he showed up one morning, drunk as shit. Like came in late, showed up drunk as shit for formation. I was like, hey, dude, you ever put on a ghillie suit? He goes, no, but I really want to. I was like, good. I got mine in my car. Went and got it, put it on. I had him low crawling around the armory. Dude, he
Nice.
was puking. He's like, and he still talks about it to this day. He's like, I won't ever screw up again. He has since, but he just screw
Sure.
up anyways.
Sure.
Haircuts, dude coming in with like hair in their eyes. I'm like, come on, yo, you out of rags. He goes, no, it's the way it's styled. I was like, we gonna fix it. Hey, First Sergeant, can I
Oh
have some
no.
scissors? He's like, yeah, what do you need them for? I was like, just a little corrective activity. He goes, okay. Cut the bangs off that kid. I don't care.
Fuck. Yeah.
Fixing them, dude.
Yeah.
Don't be a dirtbag.
No, I think it's a lot. Well, it's everyone's trying to press the envelope. How
Oh,
far
for sure.
how
For
far can I
sure.
go? Yeah. You know, you might have to wait a little bit to publish this until I'm fucking retired, but
It's
um
coming out Tuesday.
oh, Tuesday, never mind. You got a lot of things that are happening in the Army now, and there's a lot of standards that have been set that if those standards, let's say in the era or time, right, when certain people existed and all of these things were real in the fucking world, that a lot of those cultures and communities would look at the kids we have nowadays and be like, abso-fucking-lutely not, right?
Right.
I got a lot of kids that come up and they're like, well, I'm this, that, or the other thing. And I was like, well, if you were born, right, you were around when these things were actual real and these were cultures, right, across the globe, you'd been thrown off a fucking cliff, right, as a
Right.
child, right? You would
Yeah.
have been sacrificed and been near a fucking waste. You know what I mean? There's some of that stuff. I'm just like, it's too much. We're worried about one end and pushing the boundaries and pushing how far we can go with it, as opposed to just paying attention to, can I do my fucking job?
Yes.
And I think there's my branch is a huge part of that as well. We get quick into the tendency of looking past a standard to keep somebody operational and to keep somebody that we know can do their fucking job, right? You got a couple soldiers, they sit inside the ECS and there's, obviously the associated equipment. They're looking at air tracks, all the rest of that stuff where they may be heavy, right? They're a little overweight. But when the commo shit goes down, they turn around, they fucking fix it, and they're right back in there engaging, fucking missiles are coming down range. And people are like, well, that dude's valuable. And I'm like, yes, he is. But he'd be even more valuable to us as an asset for everybody else if he was fucking not fat, right, and in shape and doing the fucking job, right? And I was like, he's got the mentality, he has the smarts to do the job. We just need to change fucking habits, right, to get him fucking in shape type deal. And it's one of those things especially in air defense, we look on one side of air defense, we look past kind of some of those standards just because we're short, It's an operational need, right? And they just let it fucking happen. And I think that's kind of what the whole counterinsurgency piece did in Afghanistan for the better part of a decade, right? We were so busy and so, focused on the fight that we lost focus of all the rest of the things that got us there. And now we're having to recreate the fucking wheel again, probably going into this next conflict.
For sure. All right, last question. And I'd get answers all across the board on this, so I'm always curious to see what people are going to say. How do you look back on it now, like your military career? Is it do you have the nostalgia thing from way back when? Is it a pride thing? Is it something completely different? Because I get answers all over the board. I get people that have told me, military career did not make me the man I am today. I get a lot of the nostalgic stuff from the old guys. So I'm curious how you look back on it.
Oh wow,
As somebody who's done over 20 years, I mean, the retirement window is opening already and is there. You can see it.
Yeah.
How do you look back on your career?
I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I did it. I'm appreciative of what it is that I fucking have. But I also know that if I would have put the same effort and mentality into anything else that I did in life, that I would probably also be okay. And I say that to say this. I don't think it was a huge fucking waste of time, because obviously it wasn't. But it's cost me a fucking lot. It's cost my youth, right? All the rest of those things. But it wasn't for nothing. I know that. It's giving me more opportunities to do other things in life. It's giving me opportunities to meet people that I never would have met before in my fucking life. So I'm thankful for all those things. But I know, again, like I said, if I would have placed the same mentality in anything else that I did in fucking life, and the same tenacity and the same work ethic, I'd probably be just as successful. So I'm kind of indifferent about my career thus far in the Army. Again, super thankful for the people that I've met, super thankful for the impact that I've been able to have on people, which I know is both positive and negative. But I know it's not the thing that fucking defines Kevin Endrak. It's the thing that I hung my hat on for a very long time, and I thought that that's what was going to fucking define me. But I quickly realized and I understand that this year in August, when I exit the Army, nobody's going to fucking call me. And my name might be in somewhere on a battalion leadership wall as being somebody that was a battalion leader there at one point in time, but that's about it. And for 20 years of your time to get pushed into it, if you're the dude that's looking for the end state, you're not going to get the end state in the Army overall, so to speak. You're going to get the end state in the people that you met and the skills and other things that you gathered along the way that are going to continue to make you successful. Again, I don't think it was a bad decision. It was just something that I needed to do at the time. It's got me to where I'm at in life. But I think I could have done just as well in other ventures. I think a lot of people think I'm now now that I'm retiring, what happens if I would have fucking, put my work ethic and tenacity into college and graduated with a business degree and started a business 20 plus years ago? Where would I be at? Imagine, being in law enforcement, or being a fucking firefighter. Fuck, I'd be a fire chief, running stations, something like that, by now. I don't know. That's a tough one. I've watched too many people retire before me, and I see so much of it now, especially I'm on a couple social media pages online that are a lot of the retired folks and community veteran stuff, this, that, and the other thing. Everyone's still trying to grasp a hold of what the fuck happened over those 20 years, right? Like they miss it, and I know they miss it, but I don't want to be that fucking dude. This isn't This didn't define me. It's the, you know, my parents didn't name me Command Sergeant Major or Sergeant Major Kevin Andrakowitz. You know what I mean? They named me Kevin Andrakowitz, and that's who the fuck I am. And after this, 10, 20 years down the road, when I'm that old fucking bastard, right, that you're yelling at that's moving too slow at, you know, Walmart or whatever, you know what I mean? I'm something else besides the Army. Again, super thankful, but it's not who I am. It's what it is I did for a long period of time, if that answers it.
Well, I'm proud of hell of who you became. Um, I like to think I had a little hand in that.
100%
Sure.
you did. You and numerous
But
other people. Yes, sir.
but the stuff that you've done, the places you've gone, the people you've helped, I'm proud as hell of who you become. Because you're a completely different person today than you were 20 some years ago.
Bro, I know I was the worst fucking soldier, right, that you could possibly have.
You grew up a lot, and you know I respect the hell out of you, and I'm proud of you, dude.
Well, I appreciate it, brother. And again, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to get on here with you tonight and talk to you. I hope you get some additional views, right, and all the rest of these things. If you give it some time, right down the road, when some of these NDAs expire and all the rest of that stuff, we can have some different conversations about different stuff.
We'll do it again.
Again, I got, obviously, you know, I'm still in it, so I will curtail some of my thoughts and some of my statements, right, for a later date. But I, again, super appreciative that you gave me the opportunity to come on here tonight. Hope I wasn't long-winded.
No, dude.
Hope I didn't.
Glad you had
Okay.
some stories, some good stories. Yeah.
And I've listened to a lot of the stuff that you've posted up on there. You got a pretty good swath of everybody, right? You got some firefighter dudes, you got some SWAT dudes, you got some cats that try to, you know, make it Navy SEALs training and all the rest of this stuff. And I'm just like, man, that's pretty fucking badass.
Yeah. That's the fun part about this is, you know, I got friends that are all over the world, all over the country, of all walks of life. And it's, you know, like we've been talking, it's the stories from long ago when there wasn't video or picture proof. I don't want those stories to go away. So I'm really glad
100%.
you had some good ones tonight. This has been fun, dude.
100%. No, I appreciate it, brother. And anytime, reach out to me. I'm here for you. If you need anything, I got your back, man.
Love you, dude.
Love you too, man.